The awards suck. The platform sucks. The algorithm sucks. The representation sucks. And okay, so the Goodreads Choice Awards came out again. At least the results came out again. Yay, confetti, balloons, violence. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I don't even have the energy to fake shock anymore. Like, genuinely. Every year, the book community logs onto the internet acting brand new. Like we didn't all just live through the exact storyline 12 months ago. It's literally the same plot, the same chaos, the same discourse, the same deep sighs of disappointment. We could put it on repeat and the vibes wouldn't change. We get the finalists, we get the winners, and then we get the same comments. Where is the diversity? Why didn't this book win? Who voted for that? Why are there 75 white women holding coffee mugs in the romance category? And then there's always one person like, I'm leaving Goodreads forever. Girl, you said that in 2021. You said that in 2022. You said that in 2023. And the pattern continues. Goodreads is basically the toxic ex you swear you're done with, but you still stalk their page at 2 a.m. to see who they're dating. Oh, like, miss me with it, because I don't believe you. I don't believe you. No one does. And you should really just stop trying to lie to us, because we don't believe you, okay? But before we get into it, again, let's go for the introduction. Hi. My name is Shelly. Very, very nice to meet you guys. I love books. I do. And I do love giving some commentary on the happenings of the bookish space, which is what we're going to be doing today. Because this, as I was seeing the chaos spiraling online, I was just like, I can't even get passionate about this. You guys know I be having, well, my regular viewers, you guys know I be getting a bit passionate about things that really, like, you know, get me going. But I can't even get passionate about this because I'm actually sick and tired. I have nothing to give to this, you know? But let's start with a universal truth to set the scene, you know? The Goodreads Choice Awards are not a real measure of literary merit. So far from it, okay? They are a literacy popularity contest determined by whoever has the loudest fandom, whichever author posted the most please vote for me Instagram stories, whichever cover is cutest, because I know some of y'all don't be reading them books, and whichever book talk trend refuses to die. Yeah, let's be honest. These are not the Nobel Prizes, okay? These are the Teen Choice Awards of literature. And I feel even bad for saying that because I feel like even the Teen Choice Awards has better integrity when it comes to who is put up and who wins, if we're being completely honest, okay? Every year, people pretend to be shocked when the results look like the same safe mainstream authors, the same book talk darlings, the same genres that dominate because they trend, you know, and obviously they act surprised as well when there's a surprising lack of books by Black authors, a surprising lack of books by Indigenous authors, surprising lack of books by any authors outside the ultra marketed publishing bubble. And then people go, where are the diverse books? That one, I'm just like, I'm gonna ignore that question because let's be honest, when was there ever really diverse books, you know? People are really out here screaming, why didn't, you know, this book even get nominated, you know? How did this mid-book win, you know? My love, my darling, my sweet summer child. It's because Goodreads voters were never reading diversely to begin with. Let's be honest. The platform is dominated by white readers, readers from the US and the UK, and readers who only read mainstream books. And let's be honest, a lot of times it's by people who only read, like, you know, 10 books a year, and all of them were book talk hits. Because let's be honest, you can read 5 books a year, but I guarantee there's no diversity in the 5 books that were read if you are probably someone on Goodreads. This is the audience. This is who votes, and this is who chooses the winners. So why are we pretending the math will suddenly math differently? Come on now, guys. We all took the same basic math. We all know that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So why are we acting surprised? Goodness me. I'm getting so frustrated, you know? Look, I've done it, you know? I have made, an entire video about this before. I remember I've made one on TikTok. I'm pretty sure I made one on YouTube. And as always, I probably went in depth. I probably gave examples. I probably gave historical patterns, and most likely I showed you guys receipts. And this year, honestly, I don't even have the desire. I don't. Because Goodreads, they're not confused. They're not confused. They are not unaware. They are not struggling. They simply do not care. They do not care, okay? Their platform has looked the same since Moses was in nappies, okay? Their recommendation algorithm is held together by 2 paper clips, a prayer, and the ghost of a Windows 95 motherboard. They don't innovate, they don't update, they don't respond, and they don't engage. And yet every year, without fail, tens of thousands of readers treat the Goodreads Awards like gospel. Like, this isn't the same platform that recommends you fantasy if you read one fantasy book, recommends you Colleen Hoover if you blink in the direction of romance, and honestly cannot distinguish between similar genre and similar vibes. It's the same platform that goes deleting comments when people call out bad reviewers for bad behavior. Honestly, the same platform that allowed review bombing, let's not forget that scandal, and only did something about it when it made national news. Like, this is the same platform, guys. And then we act shocked when the Goodreads Awards reflect that lack of nuance. That platform is not built for taste, guys. It's not. It is built for volume and volume alone. But let me break down the annual Goodreads cycle like a nature documentary, so that people can really get into it. Phase 1, the nominations drop. People go, where are the indie authors? Goodreads goes, LOL. What? And then we get to phase 2, voting opens. People go, vote for diversity. And Goodreads goes, anyway, here's the sequel to the book you already hated, And then phase 3, the winners get announced. People go, this won? And Goodreads goes, did you expect integrity? Or even literary diversity? Ugh. And then we get to phase 4, rage. Threads are written, TikTok videos are made, YouTubers, me included at this point, make 60-minute dissertations. And then we get to phase 5, the performance resignation, People vow to delete their Goodreads accounts forever, and they do not delete their Goodreads accounts, You're gonna see them again. And then phase 6, peace. Until next year. And now, here we go again. The same fights, the same frustrations, the same calls to leave Goodreads, the same, how did this lose? This is the best book of the year, la da 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 da. The same thing all over again. Bestie, if you want your favorite diverse books to win, you need a platform where readers actually know that those books exist, and they actually make an effort to find those books, and not just find those books, they actually make an effort to read those books, and then those readers actually vote. Come on now, come on. Why are we kidding ourselves? That platform is not Goodreads, is not Goodreads. And this is the part where I always see people acting shocked, shocked every single year that the awards lack diversity. I am not shocked, not even a little bit, because Goodreads, like I said, is a reflection of what is marketed, and who gets shelf space and who gets book talk virality, who gets the store displays, and we know who that is, who the publishers invest most of their money in, and we know who that is, this still heavily leans toward white, US centric mainstream authors, you know? And yes, there are incredible, and I mean incredible, diverse authors, BIPOC authors, writing breathtaking, mind blowing work every year. But let's not pretend the average Goodreads user is looking past the books on the front table of Waterstones or Barnes and Nobles, depending on wherever you're based, okay? Let's not pretend the platform magically removes biases that exist across all publishing ecosystems. Remember the review bombing scandal. The review bombs were directly towards books by diverse authors, and Goodreads only acted when they were called out, and it became a national news topic. Let's not pretend that voters are well read across cultures, countries, and genres on Goodreads. I'm so sorry. Majority are not, because some people are. You know, let's not generalize. You know, let me correct myself. Let's not generalize, but majority are not. Okay, they're not. Let's be honest. Most people vote for what they've heard of, or let's go from the beginning again. Most people read what they've heard of, you know, and a lot of times what they've heard of is not what's best, you know. It's not what's groundbreaking, it's not what's diverse, not at all. It's what's familiar, it's what's trending, you know, what's comfortable. And that's why the same authors win every year. Let's be honest, you're going to see Coho and SJM on the winners list every year if they released a book, you know. You will see V.E. Schwab if they released a book. You will see those three authors every time if they released a book. That book could be a literal pile of dumpster trash, like absolute garbage. I'm not saying that they are, I'm saying that they could be, and it wouldn't matter because people will vote for them anyway. I remember the last year I participated in the Goodreads Awards. I remember looking at, it was the young adult fantasy category. I remember looking at the winner and then like the other books in the category. Now I had read like, I think like 3 or so books in the category, but I voted for, you know, the one I decided was best. Now guys, like I said, I read like a few books in the category. Now there was a book that I had read that won, and why am I even hiding? It was Gallant by V. Schwab. Yeah, Gallant. And that year, I believe that was the year that Bloodmark came out as well. And guys, it was the fact that like Gallant was like the winner of that category, and Bloodmark was like, it just missed it. It was second, I believe. Anyone who's read both of those books, y'all know Gallant didn't deserve to win that. Even if Bloodmark didn't win, because like I said, there were other books in that category that I hadn't read, so maybe they were great. Even if Gallant didn't win, I'm so sorry. Winning over Bloodmark is absolutely atrocious behavior, because how? In what? The thing is, it's not even that Bloodmark was just better. It was. But it's also that Gallant was mid. Honestly, I'm just like, from an objective and subjective point of view, Gallant was mid. I was just like, there are so many things in that book that I was like, okay, like, it's a good book, you know, it had a good eerie setting. But I was just like, this writing is kind of clunky. Like, what the heck is going on here? And keep in mind, this was the first V. Schwab book that I had finished. Vicious, I still haven't finished. Like, it's great so far, but I still haven't finished it. But in this instance, I'm just like, how did Gallant win? Like, how? It's just, I'm so sorry. It did not compute. And it was just very clear that Gallant won because V.E. Schwab is the V.E. Schwab, you know? Let's be honest. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm reading Vicious now, and Vicious is I know it's going to end up to be one of my favorite books. It's that good so far. But I'm like, okay, I've seen your writing so far, and that's great. And then I saw The Gallant, and I'm just like, oh, you know, this is a mid book compared to what you've written before. And then I read, you know, Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry, this is 100 times better than this. There's no way that Gallant won over that book fairly. So sorry, objectively and subjectively, like, there's no way. I'm so sorry. But let's get past that. That was a little tangent, but I'm so sorry. I was baffled, and that was the last year. I was just like, this is the last year I'm gonna take Goodreads seriously. I'm so sorry. Like, I was just like, this was a waste. This was a waste of my time. It was terrible. But here's the honest truth, you know, I no longer have the energy to be shocked or outraged about the Goodreads Awards. It's not even like, yes, I still have my account, because I'm just like, and I'll get to that later, but I don't actually engage on it. Like, people are just like, oh, do you have Goodreads? I'm just like, guys, that account hasn't been updated in I think about like 3-4 years. Let's be honest. Like, the books that I'm reading, the books that I've read, Goodreads does not have it. Okay, it's not have it. So it's not even like I don't have the energy to partake in Goodreads, which I don't, but I also no longer have the energy to be shocked, by the awards. I'm honestly choosing peace because nothing is going to change. They've shown us time and time again that they're not going to change. Goodreads is not going to update. And let's be honest, a lot of readers will not suddenly diversify. They're just not going to. And publishers will not magically start promoting everyone equally. We're still trying to make so much change in the publishing world, but we're a long ways away from where we should be, and it's not going to happen suddenly. It's just not going to happen. And discourse alone has never shifted this award in the slightest. I'm so sorry. If it shifted it, then we would be seeing more change, but we're not. Okay? Discourse is not doing anything with these awards. So I've honestly, instead of making an academic analysis, instead of doing a breakdown of each category, instead of dragging Goodreads like a Victorian rug, I'm simply saying the Goodreads awards suck. Okay? They have always sucked, they will continue to suck, and I refuse to let them suck my time again. Okay? We all deserve better literary institutions, better charts, better recognition systems, better spaces. But if we all know Goodreads is a flawed, outdated program, it's a flawed, outdated platform, why are we pretending it will become the Pulitzer if we yell loud enough? I'm so sorry. I do not have the energy to try this anymore. No. Let's give up on that. If you want awards that actually highlight diversity, use the story graph, use, even TikTok is better, indie book awards, actual literary awards, list curated by a diverse range of reviewers. We're going, for Asian lit, indigenous lit, Black lit, reviewers from those backgrounds, Pacific Islanders. Like, I want reviewers from everywhere, not just that, go for community lit awards by people with taste. Yeah, because honestly, I don't know what to say about Goodreads people anymore sometimes. No. Honestly, if you want to support better platforms, stop giving Goodreads the traffic. Even, like, this will probably be the last time I have to speak about this app, because I'm just like, you know what? Before I spoke about why people needed to leave the app, now I'm speaking about why people need to stop being outraged. Like, stop being outraged. There's no point in being outraged. Nothing is going to change, If you want diverse books to win awards, promote them, review them, talk about them, nominate them, vote for them in systems that actually care. Because Goodreads is not it. They do not care, okay? They do not care. And I'm tired of giving them the energy they haven't earned, So enough. Because that's it. My official 2025 stance, I'm not arguing about the Goodreads awards anymore, at all. I'm just tapping out, log me off the discourse. Like, my spirit is tired. The awards suck. The platform sucks. The algorithm sucks. The representation sucks. And we all know this already, So instead of screaming into the void, let's build better spaces that actually celebrate the books and the authors who deserve it, okay? So again, let that platform go if you're actually serious about the crap that you're seeing and being tired of. If you're actually serious about letting it go, let it go. Let it go. There are so many better platforms. And I'm not just talking about awards, better platforms in general. Like I said, the Goodreads algorithm sucks. Its recommendations suck. Everything about that app sucks. Bruh, there's nothing good about that platform, There's nothing good about the platform. And the reason why I haven't let go of the Goodreads accounts in general, and I remember I said I was going to come back to it. Let me tell you why, guys. It's because, especially when some authors are trying to make their way into the industry, they know that Goodreads has a lot of people in there. And you know what? Just by chance, their book might get recommended. And you know what? Traction is good because people will discover you, And so I recognize that for people who, are starting out their debut book, or they might be indie authors, Goodreads might give them a chance. And obviously, having your book everywhere helps. Having your book in more places increases the possibility of traction. And so I have not let go of my account, because especially when certain authors, they're just like, oh, can we collab? their preference is that, you know, I post a Goodreads review. And I'm just like, I don't really use that app like that. But if that's where you want it to go, that's where you want it to go. But even when they ask me to do that, I will be like, you know what? I'm going to post it on YouTube in terms of like the community, because I know that I engage on YouTube. And I don't add an extra fee or anything like that. But I'm just like, you know what? I don't care for the app, but I'm going to also put it on the app because you requested it, but I'll also put it somewhere that I actually have faith in, you know, because if I'm going to be sharing your book, let me actually do this with integrity and put it somewhere that I properly have faith in. I'm going to do what you requested because obviously it's a collaboration, it's a business deal. That's cool, that's Gucci with me. But I'm also going to put it somewhere that I'm just like, I actually have faith in, you know, I actually back with my chest, because that also shows where I stand with the review that I'm giving. But listen here, Goodreads, I'm so sorry, it sucks, and I stand by that, okay? But it is what it is, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, drop in the comments for those of you who participated in the awards, who voted, who are still on there. You know, I know I insulted the crap out of the people who are on there, no offense, but like I said, it's not everybody who you know, some of the things that I said apply to. Some of you guys are just there because you just need somewhere to keep track of your books, and you can't be asked transferring your books to another app. But I'm telling you, the apps are getting better. Like Storygraph lets you like just move your Goodreads books automatically, so you don't gotta stress yourself, just to let you know. And I'm pretty sure Fable does it as well, guys. You guys can leave the app now. You don't have to stay because it has your history. You can move your history too, you know, just to let you know. But for those of you who did partake, you know, let me know which Goodreads snub annoyed you this year. Like, let me know. Or in terms of like, you know, let's go for better, tell me which awards you trust, you know, you actually trust. Because Goodreads, I'm so sorry, baby, it's time we let that ship sink. Okay? And that's it for me. You guys know what it is. Obviously, I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like, comment, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And like I said, I'll see you next time. Bye.